Welcome to Fighter to Fighter, the podcast where warriors talk real, where we break down the good, the bad, and the ugly of combat sports, from victories to setbacks, from the bright lights to the battles that nobody sees. This is the place where raw conversations, real stories, and the truth behind the fight game. What's going on, everybody? This is Sean Spencer. This is Fighter to Fighter podcast. This is a podcast where warriors talk real about, life, about the fight game, just keeping it 100% authentic, honest, and open about the things we go through, and not just in life, but in the octagon or the arena. We're in the ring, whatever your choice of where you're competing at, right? So today I have a special guest in the building. He is an American professional mixed martial artist. He competed in Bellator FC, Legacy FC, and the one and only Ultimate Fighting Championship. He's got 30 professional fights. He's the CEO of Fight Fit Fight League, Fight Fit Fighting League, and Ocho TV Studios. Give it up for the one and only Ocho, Stephen Peterson. Let's go. I'm gonna clap for you. I'm gonna clap for you. Yeah. We don't have an audience, but we are gonna have an audience.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show, man. You're our first guest, our first official guest, man. I'm super thankful for you being here, bro.
I appreciate you having me on, man. This is a real cool thing you got going here, and I'm looking forward to big things from Fighter to Fighter podcast.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. So, I think my first question, I think you probably talked about this before, but the name Ocho, where did it come from?
Man, so I grew up in Los Angeles, California. Moved out to McKinney, Texas when I was 15. Was the new kid around town and joined the football team. So they put me on. I'm not a big guy. I'm about 170 pounds. Back then, I was probably 150 pounds.
Right.
They put me on the O line as a tackle. So I was basically on the scout team for the varsity guys, and they would just pummel me into the ground. And
yeah,
I chose to wear the number 8, and they would just point me out and say, Ocho, Ocho, just kind of like mocking me. And I'd be like, crap, like, I got to block this guy. And they'd pancake me and jam me in the ground. So I'd pop up and, hot head, start swinging on the guys. And they're like, oh, this kid Ocho thinks he can fight. So really just the older kids on the football team picking on me, calling me Ocho, and being the new kid, it kind of stuck. Through high school, they're like, oh, that kid Ocho thinks he can fight. If you want to fight, you should fight Ocho. And, throughout high school, I kind of became infamous as Ocho, the kid from LA who would like to get in fights.
Right. So. Yeah. But and thanks for sharing that, man. That's, I think I knew a little bit about that, but that just goes to show you, man, like, names are powerful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like Ocho, it's like that takes you back to, part of your, your upbringing, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but also that gave you fuel to fight.
Right.
And it's like, but you was a fighter before Ocho.
Yeah. I mean, you that. It was inside of me, but, Steven, he's a nice guy. It's like, Steven's the guy that he's a sweetheart, whatever. He didn't like to get into it. He just kept to himself. And then, when they called me Ocho, it just brought out a different side. Names do carry a lot of weight, and I think just the tone of the name Ocho, and then it brings out a different spirit in me.
Right, yeah. And speaking of that, man, the spiritual side of fighting, bro. I don't think people really understand. Like, it's like there's a physical side, and there's definitely a spiritual side. So even like, before you go out to the octagon, what, I don't want to say spirit, but like what's the mindset of Ocho going into the arena before you, like, your walkout? You know what I'm saying? Like what's going through your mind?
Man, Ocho don't back down. It's like he's the guy that stood up for Steven. He's the guy that stands up for, really just he stands his ground. Steven went just okay, just I'll go cry about it. And then Ocho was the guy that when Steven sees red, Ocho was like, nah, I got this.
Go with it.
And I was able to embody it and take on a different persona because it wasn't Steven. It was
Mm,
created a whole new identity.
yeah,
Ocho could do whatever, man.
absolutely.
And
Yeah, yeah,
Ocho did everything that Steven couldn't do. You know,
yeah.
in my mind, that's kind of how I, uh, uh, embodied that. It was like, no, that was Ocho. Yeah, no, yeah, don't blame me. That was Ocho last night at the party. That dude's wild. You don't want to mess with him.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah, and it's like, so I had to. So you would consider that an alter ego? Would you consider that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about mental health and uh, quote disorders and whatnot.
Hmm.
Uh, if you were to snap and go into different personalities, you
Yeah.
say you have multiple personality disorder.
Right.
I say I have multiple personality order. I'm a Gemini as well.
You take it out the
So it's
disorder.
like I kind of created different personas for at the gym. I'm Coach Ocho. I snap into character when I walk in the gym. Um, when I'm around my son, I'm dad.
Yeah.
Steven is another one, and then Ocho, he could do quite a bit. And then I got a couple other ones that I started getting into music, so I created a persona, Joe King.
Okay.
He's just joking, man, but he
Yeah.
ain't joking. He's Joe King.
Ocho King. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really cool. That's like a play on words.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, Joe King.
Yeah, Joe
That's
King.
pretty
So
funny.
yeah, I put on a hat, and then all of a sudden I'm Joe King, and I can walk into a room full of CEOs, and I'm a producer, so I can
Right.
play that role and speak for the artists that I work with and whatnot. So it's just kind of embodying different roles that I have to play in life and giving them a name.
Okay. Gotcha,
So
man.
call me crazy, but it works for me.
Yeah, yeah. So I had one, coming up, and I don't know if you remember this, but mine was Black Magic.
I do. I was
Remember
thinking
that?
that. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I actually what I had to do, because, and I don't want to make this about me, but as I want to give you some insight, I had to actually, you know, detach myself from that persona.
yeah.
I did, because the Black Magic side of me it's coming from a dark place.
I can see
You
that.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The Black Magic side. It's like, and also too, the spiritual implications of a Black Magic. And it's like the dark side of things. It actually felt dark. I was like, my spirit man was going into a darkness part of myself, or whatever it was, call it a demonic whatever. And I felt that. And I
You
didn't
would take a soul, right?
understand
Like
it. Huh?
in a fight.
Yeah,
You-
and I didn't understand it back then, of how that was, and the spiritual implications, and why it was hindering me in my growth, in my connection with God too. So I actually had to renounce it, bro.
mm,
Like, eventually, and God showed me that I renounced it, and things started to kind of open up. The more doors started to open in terms of like, and even like I felt more free at that time. And it's a process, that we go on,
yeah,
in our spiritual journey. Um, but yeah, it's like it's a deep subject, you know what I'm saying? And we
yeah,
can get into it one day, you know
man.
what I'm saying? But
Yeah. I'm all about those thought provoking conversations. It's
yeah,
like because you can go a lot of ways with it, but there's a lot of implications of what you embody in this life. And there's a lot of dark sides to being a warrior, but
yeah,
as long as you're doing it for the right purpose, I believe it takes a bad man to to fight evil. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And there's a lot
yeah.
of evil in this world, and I feel like when I was fighting, there was times I was fighting for the right reasons, and times I was fighting for personal reasons, and
Hmm.
more so ego.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of spiritual battle goes on in there.
100%.
You're taking somebody's soul in essence in there.
Hmm.
When you take somebody's consciousness,
Right.
that's deep.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also with that, if somebody gets knocked out, or somebody gets dropped or submitted, and it's like a position of, humility. The person actually gets submitted or knocked out. It's like life, God's showing you, hey, humble yourself, but like when you come out of that situation, what either you can take on that humility, or you can take on the pride of that, like, nah, I'm good. I'm still
Yeah,
who.
you could really lose a piece of yourself in there.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a time I was young, arrogant, and I got laid out on a mat in front of the world on TV, and it was
Yeah.
like uh, it took a piece of me. I think it took a piece of me that needed to go.
Wow. What
You
fight was that?
I was fighting George Pacquiao before I started
George
training
Patton.
at Octagon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember
So
that,
yeah, I was
bro.
I
Yeah.
was training at North Dallas MMA, and then there was a couple the coaches JD Shelley and Carlos had parted ways, and
Mhm.
so I was kind of um, in Wonderland, and I was
Mhm.
doing jiu-jitsu and doing Muay Thai separately, and then fighting at a high level. And I ran into a couple of setbacks. I fought Matt Hobart. I broke his arm in the first fight,
I remember. Yeah.
and then in the rematch, I fell short. And it was a big it's a big moment. It was like
He
a
wrestled. He
big
wrestled.
rematch.
He decision.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
majority decision.
Yeah.
I lost a point due to illegal upkick. It wasn't illegal. Come on, we can go back to
We
that
had to go
video,
back.
but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and everybody wanted me to lose except for my riot squad that I had
Right.
in the audience, and my fans got kicked out. It was
Oh
like a
wow. He was.
real
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
crazy evening, and after that fight, my wife at the time she put her hands on me. She was like, "How are we gonna pay the bills now?" And I was already cut on my
Wow.
face, so she was like in front of my friends, and I was like,
Wow.
"No, like this is my house," and it was a real tough time for me, and so we did I wanted to fight real quick right after that and kind of get back on my feet.
100%. Yeah.
Fight George Pacquiao, and
Oh wow.
you know, it ended in the first round. It was a real crazy back and forth scrap,
Mhm.
and he put me down. So he was a shorter guy, big power puncher.
I remember George.
He
Yeah.
punched me over the top. Yeah, he was dropping heavyweights in the
Bro,
gym.
this
Kid was.
dude. Yeah.
I didn't believe it when I was watching the tapes on this guy. He was like hitting guys and they would flop, and I was like, "This is a joke. I'm gonna kill
Right.
this guy."
Right.
And I go in there, he hits
Yep.
me, man. I was like, "Oh God, like this guy hits hard."
Yeah.
And
So you actually experienced the implications of when you don't respect rule number one. There's two rule number ones. Never underestimate your opponent and protect yourself at all times. You
yeah,
you went against rule number one.
yeah,
Never
absolutely,
underestimate your opponent. I've done that before too.
yeah,
It's yeah, you would end up in the most humbling situation if you do that.
absolutely. I mean, humiliating and humbling.
Yeah.
You know, I got slid on the mat. What's crazy is I was conscious, but my body didn't work for a second. I
Yep.
slid, and I looked over. The ref jumped on me, and I was like trying to fight him, but I was like,
Yeah.
nah, like kind of out of it a little bit.
Yep.
And after that, went home, kind of just everything in a daze, and my wife began stepping out on me. Kind of,
Hmm.
I was low. I was low. I
Yeah.
was yeah, just kind of in a funk.
Yeah.
And after I went through that kind of traumatic rock bottom experience, kind of blew up the castle type
Yeah.
deal, and there was rights and wrongs on both sides and whatnot, but um, going forward, I was like, where do I go from here? I went to Coach Safe,
Hmm.
and he was the
Yep.
coach of my past two previous opponents. A
Yep.
lot of my opponents actually,
Yeah.
Quayne Kemp, a lot of guys that I beat, and then it was like Coach Safe kind of dissected me in those fights. He figured me out,
Yeah. He's a
and he strategically put the guys in there. He's like, Matt Hobart can wrestle him, and then he's like, oh, okay, we're gonna put George in there and put him down.
of course. Yeah. And it's like, and coach is a genius when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great at what he does in his own right. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
that's why so many people gravitated towards him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And but you mentioned rock bottoms. How many rock bottoms do you think you've had in your life?
Oh, that was the bottom.
That was the bottom bottom.
Yeah, that was the bottom. Honestly, just being vulnerable, I was gonna kill everybody.
Well, what,
I was like,
so
I don't want to be here anymore.
elaborate that.
I was like, I don't want to be
You
here
want to kill
anymore.
everybody? Like how many? Like who?
Well, everybody who ever wronged me,
Oh,
like the hit
yeah.
list type guy.
I
But
feel
I'm
you.
not
Okay.
that.
I
Yeah,
feel you. Yeah, yeah.
there's
100%.
something in all of us where we got that
Yeah.
little demon in the back of the head where it's
Yep.
like, yeah, just do it. And
Right.
it's like,
Right.
my wife had been having an affair with somebody in the workplace,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, I don't want to be here anymore, but I'm not going to take myself out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take everybody out. Like,
Wow.
I gotta blow up the world.
You went there, bro.
And I woke up sweating with her laying next to me. I was like, this can't be real, because I didn't have any proof of what was going on at the time. So
Yeah.
it was like I was going through those dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my mind, it was alternate reality where those things were actually done.
Wow.
And I'd wake up sweating, and I'd be like,
So you
okay,
felt did this really happen?
yeah, it's like
Actually really happened.
it's like that was a dark timeline.
Yeah.
Like you look at quantum, uh,
Like quantum physics.
quantum physics, like quantum infinite
Yeah.
realities. So I'm on this timeline where I'm still here.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
all these other timelines, infinite timelines, and there was I felt like I went through a lot of dark timelines where I woke up and I'm still here, and I didn't do those things in this timeline.
Wow. Wow.
So what's crazy is the Eminem LP2 album came out at this time, and the first song is "Bad Guy," and it was like I was listening to the album, and it was like that's what I was going through at the time. So I was going through exactly the. It's got the Rihanna song "Friends with the Monster."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
all those songs of basically what he went through, and it was like, man, I'm going through those same thoughts.
Yeah.
Like killer. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
killer. And that's my son's mom. And so it was really I couldn't do that.
Of course.
So the way I see it, my son's a very strong individual. He's a warrior mentality. And,
Yeah. I mean, he gets it from his dad, obviously.
Yeah, but he's got this spirit of like he walks in a room, everybody knows he's there. He doesn't have to say a word.
Yeah.
And he would either be a great force on this world or a very, very dark force.
Right.
And if I wasn't here, if I were to do those things, where would he go? You know. So I felt a burden and a responsibility to do right by him.
Yeah.
So it was like I do those things, he's going to be a very evil spirit in this world.
Right.
But if I embody that spirit of humility and love, and so I used that rock bottom as fuel. And I was like, I got two choices: either go dark or become a world champion. I was like, I gotta go to the top.
Yeah, 100%.
If I don't make it, it's not gonna work. I can't do it. So after that, I went on a 5-fight win streak, and then fought for a world title and become the legacy world champion, and got to have my son in the ring with me.
Yeah.
So long story short, it was like rock bottom, meteoric rise to where I needed to be, and who I needed to be to kind of vindicate myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was all for a purpose, and that was to make me the man I am today. And I didn't want to go through all that crap. It was like, I couldn't imagine. That was my worst nightmare, going through that stuff. And I was thought like, yeah, if that ever happened to me, vengeance,
Right.
And I was able to, kind of accept those things as something I couldn't control, and what you can control is how you react. So I reacted best way I saw possible, and that's to put that pain into my craft, and really had some dark training sessions where
I feel
it
you,
all
man.
came out on
Yeah.
the bag or on the
Yeah.
weights. It's just
Yeah.
raging, and that made me a beast.
Yeah. 100%, man. Yeah. And yeah. Thanks for sharing all that, bro. And it's like you mentioned, in your introduction, Bellator, Legacy Fighting Alliance. So LFA, you achieved the title there, but that wasn't your top. That may have been the top of how you felt, but then you went higher in the world of combat sports. So how do you explain, you had that rise, you had that moment, that fight win streak, and then the championship world title, LFA, but then you make it to a higher place in combat
Well, I
sports.
had to fall a little bit again. Yeah, no,
You did what?
had to fall a little bit again.
Okay,
I just
yeah.
I just stumbled again. So
Okay,
I became the legacy champ, um, and then legacy and RFA had a merger. It was a big merger that created LFA. So I was
okay,
the main event on LFA one, where I fought the RFA champion, and it was like 16-1, Leandro Higo. Nobody wanted to fight the guy. I was like, I'll fight anybody, man. I was like,
yeah.
I'm a
That's
man of
that.
steel.
That's
And
that's that warrior mentality for real.
I had to prove it in that fight, man.
Yeah.
It was a 5-round war, and it was one of those moments where I had to swallow that L, where it was, I had my moments in that fight, and
This was
I
this was
I, I
this was
had
right after the title, the fight after,
yeah,
or
it was right after I won the title, a couple months later, right after we built Fortis MMA.
okay,
We went from Octagon fight team, got our own facility, and like built Fortis MMA.
yeah,
Put the bag racks, like built it with our hands,
yeah.
and
I want to say something really quick. Isn't that wild how there's so many intertwining stories?
oh yeah,
I have my story. You have your story. There's so many other fighters in that stable. And it's like you had your own thought processes, your own journey through the things, and you're telling me a
and
lot of
we were
things
together. We were intertwined through all
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and
You're telling me things I didn't even really know about, and also too, the thing about fighters, bro, like we can be very selfish,
oh
and
yeah,
it's like I know there's obviously we're teammates, and we were in different weight classes, so we train together sometimes, but it's like I have my stuff going on, you have your stuff going on, and we don't really interact, with life stuff, but you have your whole world going on. I have my whole world going on.
yeah.
It's just interesting.
As
But
close
now,
as we are through
right,
our journeys, it's like we don't know each other's
but
personal
right, but
battles.
not until really now. And I think this is another reason why we have the podcast, the Fighter to Fighter podcast, is to actually, kind of bring that back. Actually get to hang out, and actually get to know each other on a deeper level. And
Mm.
it's funny because we're actually beating each other up in
Uh,
training, and it's like a very deep spiritual thing in terms of physically. We're like as close as we can be to each other, beating each other up, but then we don't really care about each other's lives in that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like bringing it back together.
yeah,
You know?
I say, the care is there, but the investment is we're not invested into each other's personal growth as much as we are into each other's skill preparation, whatever that be.
Yeah,
We're there getting each other ready for a big fight,
yeah.
but you know, we don't want to hear each other's problems.
Right. Yeah,
Like
that's
I'm there with my problems, getting them out. I'm getting my
right.
problems out. I want to take on yours. So
Exactly.
yeah. So like you said, fighting's a real spiritual thing. And when I was in there in that fight, it was the fourth round, and I get on his back. It's like I take him down, and he gets up. I spin around him on his back, and you know, in perspective, the fight before, when I won the world title, it was the fourth round, and I choked Manny Vasquez unconscious,
Yeah.
and it was like I had to finish in that round, and I kind of had a flashback, and I started seeing he was standing up, and I was like, okay, he falls over, lights, I win, I'm going to the UFC.
Yeah.
And I went through that in my head while I'm in the cage, squeezing, trying to choke this guy out.
Yeah.
And it was like a conversation with God. I was like, please, please, just let
Wow.
him go. And then it started slipping from my finger. I was like losing that moment, and it was a lesson which I had. That was not the only time I went. Like later on in my career, I learned that lesson again. It was like be in the moment. I
Yeah.
wasn't in that moment. I was getting
Right.
ahead of myself. I was
Yeah.
seeing myself already. The fight was over in my
Wow.
head,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
I still had another round to fight. I still had,
Dang, bro.
I
Yeah.
had to get my legs back. Like, God, please, like, my legs giving out. I was, uh, yeah, I had to go through that battle for a whole nother about 8 minutes after that. So it was like,
Wow.
I shouldn't have got ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I was in the UFC, later on, after that, got another 2 wins. Then lost a split decision on Dana White's Contender Series.
Hmm.
It was like, man, it just keeps on. I'm
But you
chasing a
had
carrot on a
you had
stick,
a lot
man.
of favor though, because even okay, you lost the fight, the Contender Series, and typically like guys maybe go off into oblivion, or maybe they kind of halt their dream or like try to pivot and like, okay, maybe this isn't for me.
Right.
But you
I
just
took a lot of damage in those fights too, and
yeah.
it was no, I wasn't gonna take no for an answer.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
then you
was gonna
get then
get
you
that carrot.
yeah, but then you came back like you
Yeah.
came
So
and
I got
also
another win and got picked up after that. It was
yeah.
like just keep chasing that carrot, but once you get that carrot, what's next?
Right,
You
exactly.
know?
And I was actually on another podcast where we talked about that. It's like, once you achieve a goal, your dream or something you're pursuing, it's like things shift or the things move forward to where it's okay, well, now what? Okay, well,
Right.
now what? Because even when I made it to the UFC, it's like, okay, I proved my dad wrong, other people wrong, and it's like I felt like I was gonna like I've arrived at some point, and it's like but now I feel like more lost than ever. Like, what is
Right.
going on with this? Now I got to do
Right.
something else. You
Right.
know?
It's like you gotta. In my perspective, you're doing. You have that goal for a reason. What's that reason? It's to get the platform, right? I wanted to share my story, not to share like I didn't tell people what I was going through when I was going through it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm not a victim.
Right.
I tell them where I was, and that's why it's important for me to be here. That made me the person I am today, and it gave me a platform to not only share that story, but to help others. Because if I went through something, why would I have to go through that? It's not for me.
Mhm.
It's for the world.
Yeah.
I'm either a real bad guy or a real good guy. So I had to go through a lot of bad things
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
could do a lot of good things. So I got to after fast forward, I retired and I got to sit down to Broken Foot and edit my documentary, share my
Yeah.
story, and my story in that right ends before even got to the UFC when I won the world title. That was kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the story, the Rocky story of making it like rock bottom to the top,
Mhm.
and it's a 2-part documentary. It's on my YouTube page if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
Ocho TV 08 on YouTube. Just look up Ocho TV, and we got the Ocho story. Kind of tells who Ocho is and the bad guy, the crazy guy,
Yeah.
and then we got the rise of Ocho, and that's the really the rock bottom
Yeah.
to the top, and
Yeah.
sharing that wasn't about sharing it because now it's all edited, it's out there.
Yeah.
Well, who's gonna see it? I got to actually impact people um, for them to even care to watch it. And
100%.
when they watch it, they can share it with others, and
Mhm.
then it could actually have some sort of impact. Otherwise, you know, nobody's going to see it, and it's said and done. So the story's never done until a good man takes you.
I feel you. Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of let the audience know about, Ocho, the warrior, the fighter, the guy that does not back down from anything. What is who is Steven Peterson?
Man. My dad named me Steven, and he told me he named me Steven after Stephen in the Bible.
Steven.
I was like,
I
man, that's
gotta get on
messed
my
up.
Bible game, bro. Like
I was like, man, that's messed
yeah,
up.
we gotta.
Stephen was a
Steven.
martyr.
He was a martyr.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, that's messed up.
well,
like,
well,
yes and no, you know.
The concept? Okay, so I need to go look at. I need to read the story of Stephen. But if someone's a martyr for Christ, that's a big deal. Think about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and like I said, once again,
yeah, it's a big burden. It's like that. Yeah, I gotta live up to that.
It is, but it's like, here's the thing though. It's like we are some. I don't think God wants this to ever happen. Like true martyrs, which you become a martyr, it's like you're gonna be with God in heaven. That's like the highest accomplishment of a follower of Christ. But we are meant to die to ourselves daily, die to our flesh, die to our sin, die to our selfish desires, whatever. Pick up our cross daily and follow after Jesus. Now that's true martyrdom in terms of like walking with Christ. You are a martyr for Christ in that way. Like I'm a martyr for Christ. You know what I'm saying? And not physically, it hasn't happened that way, but walking with Christ is a daily sacrifice.
Right.
Of sorts.
That's a deep into highly debated subject in all, you know, just religion and
yeah.
And all the topics regarding that, but long story short, I feel like in layman's terms, it means to not be selfish. Like it means to do what's right for the world, not for your own personal gain. You know, if it hurts somebody else, and like for your gain, like take that pain so you can help for the greater good type deal. So I think that's what martyrdom is like you're taking that L for everybody else for the world to win. So yeah, I mean, we could go on all day about the religious topics, but I grew up in a Baptist church. My dad was a preacher, and I always saw myself preaching my point of view, but not in the same way. And I like to see perspectives, and kind of draw parallels. Like, okay, he's saying this and he's saying this, and they're arguing, but they're just speaking about their perspective. It's like, you know, I see the front of the chair and you see the back of the chair, and they're like, no, there's an X on the chair. It's like, no, there's not. And you see one side and they see another side. You know, there's a lot of different perspectives that are talking about pretty much the same thing in different words. So
and I think that's why that's why the gospel is so controversial, because it's like, you know, there isn't just, you know, it's just like goes back to like the elephant. Like the two blind people are touching the elephant. It's like, oh, I'm touching the tail, or I'm touching or it feels like this, but they're touching the same thing. Have you heard that story?
It's like you're touching the nose or the
exactly.
trunk.
It's like, oh, it feels like this, it feels like that, but it's like it's the same thing. But it's like, and it's kind of like a parallel with religion. It's like, well, we're all looking at God, the actual same God, but it's like the thing about the gospel is like there's only one true God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right, but God's also everything.
Yeah,
and it's like that's a oxymoron. It's like
It's like
it's one, but one is everything in one. So that's just but then the Big Bang is let there be light. You know, it's like
but
science.
But the scientists the scientists, you know, they don't believe in God in terms of like,
but what they're saying is the same thing,
right? But what actual scientists are like, okay, they don't believe in God, but they're saying this is a Big Bang, let there be light.
Yeah.
but they're saying it from a perspective of uh like human wisdom. There is no God, but this is what I believe happened. Is it was a big bang,
And how
which
did
I
that
believe there
happen?
was a big bang. Let there be light was that,
Well,
but they didn't. They but the thing is, like, you have to acknowledge the fact of what actually happened. Genesis in Genesis, when God said, "Let there be light," and it was so, and it's like God actually created that. So I think, like, we have to take on humility, like a lot of scientists, and this is controversial, but like and this is my opinion, but I believe, like, I have a biblical perspective. The scientists have to humble themselves to say, okay, God did this, and just look at the Bible and say, like, it's
But
just
you
what it
look at
is.
it and like everything could have an explanation, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen
Yeah.
the way that it's written. It happened that way. But how are you describing? How are you describing something that you weren't there for? And
Yeah.
it's basically putting words into something that is it's on. You can't describe it. There's no way of
Yeah.
describing
And that,
the
and
the
I see where you're
power
going.
that created us. There's no
Yeah.
words, and the words we're using are English.
Right.
The
But then it was like the Bible was translated from like Aramaic and
yeah.
originally in Hebrew, and it's been translated on so many different times. But it's like, I feel like I talk about this in the book that I write as well. I wrote it, the Warrior Prayer book, and that's where we have to have faith as well. It's not like blind faith. Like, I'm not gonna do research and find out, but like there's been so many scholars, biblical scholars, that have dissected the Bible and words and put it together in different things. But it's like, at the end of the day, for me, it's like the things that I don't truly understand. I'm like, hey God,
You give
I'm gonna give
yeah,
that to you. Hey,
right.
and if you want, when you want me to know this, I'll receive it.
Mm,
In your time. Because we don't need to know everything. That's the thing too. I think we're still in the age of information, and we're in the age of AI and all these things. Like how fast can we get the information?
right.
We don't need to know everything. We only need
Right.
to know what we need to know.
I think the only thing that's real is what you feel. Like just knowing is like putting logic to it, but just if you feel it, it's there. And you feel things like energy in the room. You
Yeah.
can feel it. You
Right.
don't know what it is. Like it's like unexplainable,
Yeah.
but you can feel it. Intuition. Like, oh, I should probably leave. I probably shouldn't hop on that plane and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. 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 And
It's
I think that it's definitely intuition. You need that because, like, I've had times, like, I just got back from Germany not too long ago, but it's like some things try to creep up in my mind, like, oh, what if the plane blows up? Like,
mm,
that's just the spirit of fear trying to latch on to me, and
mm,
it's like I have to say, take on the mind of Christ. And it talks about that in the Bible, like, take every thought captive and bring it into obedience to Christ. And that's what I do, like, all the time, and I'm not perfect at it. I'm just like, but it's a practice. It's just like anything else. It's like practicing your jab. It's like practicing your low kick. It's like practicing, you know, um, you know, getting out of, somebody's guard, standing up, whatever.
mm.
You have to practice it. And if you don't practice it, then you're not going to be good at it.
You got to practice not being fearful. Number one thing Jesus said in the Bible was fear
If
not.
you're not, yeah,
So it's like
it's like, well,
don't be
yeah,
anxious, don't be
exactly.
fearful. Like if you do that, you're just manifesting a bad reality. You're just attracting what you're afraid of.
Right.
If you go away from that, then you focus on what your goal is or what you want out of whatever situation you're in, then you're gonna attract that as well. So,
Yeah.
you focus on what you want. Don't
100%.
focus on what you don't want,
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think we got some time. I wanted to touch on something. Because when you were talking about, your ex-wife, right? And once again, this is fighter fighter. This podcast is like the good, the bad, the ugly, combat sports,
Yeah, man.
life.
I'm an open book and
Yeah, and that's the type of guest I want on, is like people are like, hey, let's go there. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Um, and it's like, even the question I asked, these are the questions I've asked myself, but it's things I've had revelation on, and like I've actually worked through these thoughts. Even like, what is your idea of soul ties? Have you ever heard of a soul tie?
Like a soulmate or
Well, it can be a
uh,
soul. It could be a soulmate in that type of
twin
conversation.
flame. How we get
No, like a
there?
soul tie. So, like, if you, it could be created a couple different ways, but I think the main way I've learned that it happens is through intimacy with someone, a man and a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a soul tie. Now, I bring this up because it's like I've had soul ties to
I-
someone, to people,
yeah,
right?
like
So how do you like? Okay, I've actually was with someone, and but I'm not with them anymore. But
right.
sometimes, like if this happens, like I still think about that person.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why does that happen? Why would I think about somebody that I've been with that I'm no longer with? Well, it's a soul tie. That's why
You're connected.
you're
Yeah,
connected.
yeah.
You know, in a
Definitely
spiritual
through
way.
having a child with somebody.
Yeah,
Um, like there's a piece of my spirit got taken from me and put into that vessel right there, and he is my son flesh. He's a piece of me,
yeah,
and he's also a piece of his mom.
right,
So we have that in common, and we both love him. So how could I not want what's best for her as well?
right.
Because that directly impacts him.
100%,
So it's like,
100%.
yeah, I mean, we're definitely connected. Couldn't live with the lady anymore, but I
Yeah, that's
definitely,
okay. Yeah,
want the best for her, so she can be, who he needs.
yeah. Did you ever have you ever like forgiven her for
Yeah,
the things?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I take her. You know,
You think her?
yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
That's actually the a higher level of forgiveness when you can actually reach the point of thanking that person.
yeah. I mean, I got to do what I thought I'd never get to do. I was like a kid in a candy store when I got out of that marriage. It was like,
Oh
man,
wow.
I was loyal. I was
Yeah.
extremely loyal, and I was relevant when I got out of the marriage. It's like I'm fighting high level fights. I'm that dude, and I attracted a lot of very attractive women.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I got to hang out with models, do music videos, and acting, and go to all kinds of industry events. And I was just I was a kid in a candy store,
Yeah.
so I got to enjoy that without feeling guilty. So yeah, that helps me
Wow.
thank her. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
Wow. That's a different deal, different angle. I thought
yeah, yeah. It
there,
might
but
not have been the best most Christian thing to do, but
yeah.
I was there for a purpose. I was there networking, and they're sharing my story. So I feel like there's a lot of times where you can share the light in the darkness.
Okay.
So I was obviously put in that position for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
100%, man.
and
Where
we're
do
here to
you
make the best of it.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, bro. So where do you feel like your purpose is now?
So at the moment, I just acquired a gym in Little Elm. I own a Warrior Martial Arts Academy right
Yeah.
off El Dorado in
It's
423.
in Little Elm?
Yeah. Oh,
Where
it's
like
like
is it
Frisco, Little Elm,
okay,
right
okay,
on that
yeah. I mean
border.
I live probably 15 minutes from there.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should come
I'm
check
gonna
it
come
out.
yeah, I'm gonna come out and say what's up,
That's
bro.
kind of like my burden, my purpose. Like I'm teaching these kids, and I did not want to teach kids. I like teaching
It's a
fighters.
very
I've built
humbling thing, bro.
some professional, high level professional
Yeah,
fighters, and we're going to world, international fights. Like these guys are undefeated, fighting on a high level, and
yeah,
now I'm in here teaching kids, and I'm not going to neglect those guys that are fighting on the high level. I'm still there for them,
right.
um, but it's just that contrast to teaching kids. It's like now I'm babysitting, or now I'm teaching to begin like how to stand and all that. It's very humbling, and it's a burden. You're dealing with kids crying, and
Right.
kids that are going through a tough day, or issues at home. mental battles where I don't realize it at the time, but then you look over and you're like, man, I've really made an impact on that kid. Like I directly influence who they're becoming,
Right.
and they could be going through a real tough time, and I'm not even aware of it, and I help them through that. Or if I don't do my job, you know, God forbid, some kid do something, um, drastic, and that would really impact me. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a struggle and a battle, and uh, it's really rewarding at the same time. So
100%.
that's my purpose at the moment, is to build that, and directly relate, impact, and influence hundreds of kids. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
they come and they go,
Yeah.
and they remember you. And I got now I'm terrible with names. Now I remember about 60, 70 names. I gotta
Okay.
call these people
You
by their
gotta you
names. This is
practice
my
it.
business.
You
So
practice. Yeah.
so yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a daunting role. It's tough. It's tough, but I think I wear it well. So I
That's
go
what's
in
up,
there,
man.
and I'm just doing my job, man. That's
Yeah. Yeah. That's
that's what I
good.
say. But it's like I said, it's a lot deeper than just doing your job.
Yeah.
It's really influencing people. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that as well. And I didn't know that. I didn't know you had that gym over there.
should probably promote it more. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
shoot, man, I'm just living in the moment and
100%. Yeah, and
keeping up.
but it's a
You know,
process. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like even this, the fighter to fighter, bro. It's a process. You know the things we got going, even in Germany. You know, Rumble Cage series. You know, it's a process, man. You know what I'm saying? But also, you kind of going back to you were saying something about like if you directly impacting a kid, it's like what if you tell them the wrong thing? What if you say something off? You know that does you're held to a higher level of accountability, you know, responsibility, you know, to have a voice, a father voice in a child's life, you know, that's not your own child, and it's like I want to do the right thing here. But if you know do make a mistake, because none of us are perfect, right? So something that keeps me grounded and something that keeps me very encouraged in moments like that where maybe I don't know exactly what to do, it's a Bible verse, Romans 8:28. In Romans 8:28, you're thinking about it. Do you remember this verse, or are you?
not off the top of my head, but I know when you
Okay.
say it, I
Okay.
know
So
exactly.
yeah. So it's one of the Bible verses I remember memorized, and it says, "For we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and who are called according to His purpose." You know, the purposes of God are everything. You know, it's like the highest order of life. You know, like what is God's purpose? The greatest commandment is love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Treat people the way you want to be treated in that way, you know, but with a godly, perspective in mind, but God gave me a verse, or gave me a quote off of that verse, and it helped me out so much in my life. And it says, allow your past to operate as a springboard to your greater future. So to me, that means nothing that I've done that's wrong, that may look wrong, nothing, the good, the bad, and the ugly of my life. It's like, God, we're going to use that as a springboard to my greater future. And the only way that's possible is if we submit our life to God, to submit our life to Jesus Christ, and allow Him to take over in the sense of not like it's not possession. It's like, God, you can have me, you can have your way with me, but I'm in control, because even in the beginning when He created man,
It was
you
free
know,
will.
it was free will. Exactly. We have free will, but I want to do the will of the Father, and I'm not perfect in that pursuit, but this is a process. It's a process. It's called sanctification, in a Christian term. It's sanctification. It's like being daily perfected. It's really what James Clear talks about in uh, Atomic Habits. It's similar, becoming
Yeah,
1% better every day. It's sanctification. It's really all it is. Because you build off the day before. You know, and I've been in positions in my life where I was like, oh man, I just like I've lost it all. Like it's like now what? But it's like you build off of that.
Right. If you don't lose it all, then how are you going to get what's coming for you?
Yeah, that too. That's a
If
good
you
point.
had it all, then why would you go do
Yeah.
anything? Why,
Yeah,
why would I leave the
exactly.
house? You know what I mean? I leave the house
Yeah.
because I got to go get something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got stuff to do. So, uh, yeah, I lost a lot of things, even in the past few months. Past few years. You're constantly losing stuff. You have to lose weight to be free to get what you need. You gotta lose
Yeah.
the car so that you can get in the Ubers or walks, or like you have
Yeah.
these. You go through these things for a purpose, and you just got to keep moving. You can't focus on the past.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
use the past
Mm-hmm.
as fuel. You bring it up. You bring it up to, for example, but you don't focus on the past because that's not where you're at. That's not where you're going. You just keep moving. I focus on the present, and I look towards the future, but I don't know the future. I see the possibilities. I see where I want to be. I see the top of the mountain, but I look at the step in front of me so I don't fall. And
Yeah.
you're gonna trip. You're gonna stumble, but you just got to keep looking at the step in front of you. You end up on your knees. You gotta get back up. Keep
Yeah.
moving, man.
100%, man. Yeah. You a tough dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know that like God has his hand on you, bro. God loves you, man. For real.
I wouldn't be here if he didn't. I
Yeah.
think I know. I feel I have a defined or a divine purpose.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, I would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been a wild soul, and I'm
Yeah.
much. I still have that spark, but I'm much more level. I'm not all over the place. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna,
that's good.
I'm not gonna go 150 on the highway. No helmet on a motorcycle, but
Man,
there was
you've done
times that
that?
I've done that, and
That's crazy. That's wild.
when you do that stuff, you're living on the edge, and
100%. Yeah.
if I didn't have a divine purpose, I would have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Somebody would have took me out, or I would have took myself out.
100%. Yeah.
So
And that just
uh,
goes to show you. Yeah.
yeah, I'm still here. So I just got to keep doing what I'm here for. And that's to leave a positive impact, man. I just want to leave a good ripple on this earth, so I can influence it in the right way.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We're just leaving a ripple, and some of us leave a big splash, and if I impact as many people as I have, you're changing the world. So that's what I'm here for, is to change the world in a positive way.
That's good, man. With the little bit of time that we have left, speaking of ripple effects, and making a splash, talk about your fight league and like what it looks. I've been to one. It was
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the F3L League. You go to f3levents.com if you want to check it out. But basically, the idea is we want to build the next wave of upcoming fighters. We give them a platform before they're fighters. We have a series called the True Grit series, and that's where people go in to get their feet wet, whether it's a bucket list thing or if you're a young fighter. We match you with somebody that's a similar level, similar experience, and it's not quite a fight. It'd be considered like a
Like
sparring match.
exhibition kind of.
But yeah, we call it an MMA showcase. You go in
Okay.
there and you showcase your skills.
Nice.
So it helps you get used to the crowd, get used to the moment.
That's
You're
dope.
performing.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing. You're fighting. Trust me, you're
Yeah.
fighting when you get in the cage. But why would you get paid to fight, but to perform? We get paid to entertain, and it really just a developmental series to develop fighters. And then we have the rivalry series, which is amateur pro series where we do different cities against each other or different states against each other, and that's continue to grow. So basically, just trying to provide or not trying, but I'm building a platform for up and coming fighters to have better opportunities than we had ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and then really just raising the bar for these promoters, because promoters are selfish. They the fighters are the whores and the promoters are the pimps. That's the way I look at it, and I really want to just I'll be a madam or whatever. I'm gonna build up all the fighters. I'm gonna give them a good opportunity to make money in and out of the sport. Because you're an entertainer, you're a salesman, you're building a brand, your business. If you don't treat it like that, then you'll be used, abused, and then the promoters will be done with you. Right. So learn to sell tickets, learn to build your fan base, and those people will follow you throughout your career. They'll become your supporters in whatever you do if you do it the right way, build the right brand. So that's what F3L is all about. I have Ocho TV Studios, which video and music production, and we have a good 100 really good songs. It's not your typical music. It's real thought provoking and deep, fun. Not really one genre, but just
I've heard some
it's
of it.
it's good.
I've heard some Rob.
With
Rob did.
Rob Butler.
It was
Space
good.
and Time. That one's
yeah,
really
I was
good
like
album.
listening to some. I was like, this is good, man.
Dude, that whole album is. Kids can listen to it. Your grandpa can listen to it. It's a timeless album.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
We're just getting started in that, and we just we're gonna continue to build that, and we have a lot in the back in the queue, and it's really just about doing my best to give the artists a better platform than even I can give them.
Yeah.
So just using what I've built and who I am to kind of get them in the right rooms and try to get them the best opportunity I can, because I feel like they're making this music for a purpose, and I'm making my music for a purpose, and it needs to be heard. But his timing is perfect. So 100%. People will hear it when they're ready to hear it. So
that's it, man.
Check that out, Ocho TV Studios on all platforms.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna wrap up. How can the listeners get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can check me out on Instagram at Ocho08 and at Ocho_TV. We're in the process of releasing my ebook and my e-training course. So we'll be doing an online training course, and then my ebook. It kind of shares my story, and it's geared towards people that want to fight. It's kind of a playbook on basically everything I just said: how to build a fan base, how to really prepare yourself for what this sport really throws at you. So how to be successful in the sport. So that'll be coming real soon. But yeah, check it out. Ocho08 and Ocho_TV.
Awesome, man. And finishing up, what is one thing you would want to let the listeners know? If you had to leave, this is your last thing you ever had to say. What would you say?
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Yeah,
I like it. That's what's up, bro. Well, cool, man. Yeah. So we're wrapping up the first episode of Fighter to Fighter podcast. This is the podcast once again where warriors talk real. This is a real conversation. I found out some things about Stephen Ocho Peterson that I never knew about, and had an awesome time having this conversation with him, man. But yeah, we're gonna have more conversations in the near future. More episodes coming. But yeah, stay tuned. Talk to y'all later. And also, if you like what we're doing here with Fighter to Fighter, you can support our brand by going to our website, thegoldflameinitiative.com. We have the Warrior Prayer Book on there. We have, the new Warrior 100 shirt. We have the Warrior for Christ shirt. Different things going on. We have a lot of events going on. So go to my website and check everything out on there, thegoldflameinitiative.com. And also, we have a new bundle out. We get the Warrior Prayer Book, we get the Warrior 100 shirt, and we also get the Warrior for Christ shirt, all for $57. So that's a deal you can't beat. So yeah, go to the website, check it all out. Talk to you later.